Hello.
Decoding UPSC exam is an art in itself, and with the right strategy and proper interlinking of current affairs.
Hello, is the audio right for everyone? If it's not right, please do let me know that so that I could rectify it right away and this wouldn't interrupt your classes. So, yes, Raj Kapoor Das, good evening. So, I think we should just wait for a few more minutes, so that the aspirants also could join our sessions. So, I really hope that your Christmas celebrations went well, and it's just 2 days away from our new year. And yes, no, the timing is same. Always my live sessions will be at 8:30, and it will be mostly at night, 8:30 p.m. And the timing is same, Hadia. So, like I said, we should just wait for a few more minutes for the other aspirants as well, so that they wouldn't miss out any important portions. And so, yes, it's 8:37 now. We'll wait till 8:40 so that it wouldn't be, I wouldn't have to repeat the same sentence again for the other students as well. So today we'll be talking about economics, and it's just a basic introduction, just a normal class that is just a brief introduction of what economics is and all the important concepts and the basic understandings of the subject is going to be discussed today. And yes, the advanced sessions will be taken from the next classes onwards. Tomorrow there won't be a live session because tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and I don't think any aspirant will come and join for tomorrow's class because it's New Year's Eve. And yes, so just go enjoy your New Year's Eve tomorrow, and probably we'll see each other on 1st of next year. That is, day after tomorrow is a new year, new beginning of new hope of because we have been through a lot, especially with Corona pandemic and all. So I really hope the new year is going to be awesome for all of us as well. And yes, so our classes will be day after tomorrow. The next class and the next session of the economics will be day after tomorrow at same time, that is 8:30 p.m. And tomorrow there won't be any live sessions, but probably the other normal videos might be there, but live sessions won't be there tomorrow since it's New Year's Eve. So yes, students are joining us. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes. It's 38 now. We'll wait till 8:40 so that it would be fair for the other students also. So yes, I really hope that you also took the PDF copies from a Telegram channel. So all the classes, the PDFs will be sent to the Telegram channel, and I think it's there in the description link about my Telegram channel's address. So do check on that also, so that I really hope that you'll also take the notes along with it, but also for the extra additional informations, you want the PDF copies, it will be there available in the Telegram. And I kind of recently shifted my room. I'm currently at my parents' place because I realized that staying at my in-laws' place, it will be so much difficult for me to study everything together, both studies and household work and my child and in-laws and my sister-in-law. So I'm at my parents' place for the past 1 month. So at least I cover at least half or three-fourths of the portions. I think I should just stay here at my parents' place, and my study space was in the down room, like the ground floor. Now I shifted here to this room, so it's kind of like isolated from everyone, and I wouldn't be distracted much. For those reasons only, I shifted my room. So yes, it's 8:40 now. I think we should just start on with the class. So today's class is about economics. So is the audio fine for everyone? If not, do let me know that, okay? And if my face is, you know, too big for you all so that it wouldn't cover the slides. Okay. So yes, so today's class we are going to discuss the brief introduction. That is all the basic concepts. What is economics is all about, the understandings of the subject economics. And civil services, there is no point of by hearting the concept because you cannot by heart it. It's just sort of like understanding of what it is. For example, you know when your parents got married, you know when your date of birth is, so like that only you have to understand. Even for the subject like economics have lots of factual points, and you might think that you will have to by heart, but no, there's no point of by hearting because the questions that they're gonna ask you is more or less like analytical. For example, we are going through an economic crisis. The questions will be like, what were the economic implications of uh, COVID pandemic? So such type of questions are gonna come. For those reasons, you have to have understanding of what economics is. So we're going to start from the introduction, that is on the basic concepts as well. Here the definition is, it is a science that deals with management of scarce resources, because it's not just about India, the world as whole. We have just two components. What is that? Need and supply, that is demand and supply. You want something, but there is a scarcity, a certain element to it. Even if you have money, there is also chance that it's scarce, and it is something which is beyond your comprehensions. And for those reasons, the just only because resources are limited, only for those reasons economics as a subject came into being. For example, air is abundant over here, there is no restrictions for air. We have air present everywhere, and because air is free, air is like totally renewable, it existing everywhere, there is no study or there is no regulations for air. But resources, for example, a pen. Suppose a pen costs this much to make it. It cannot. A pen is not naturally made. It has to be. It goes through a lots of process and lots of procedures to come to be a pen. For those reasons, it has to be incurred. For example, I created this pen, and suppose it took me 3 rupees to create this pen. So I need a certain like benefit. I need a reason to go on. For example, the same video I'm doing, there's no point of me just making videos. I also need feedback, sort of like an encouragement from students and other aspirants as well, saying that your video is good. Only then I'll have the, encouragement or the desire to keep on creating new videos. So for those motive, and because there is scarce, and because there are human psychological reasons involved, economics as a subject came into being. Because the humans realize that there has to be some sort of management, not just about the money management, but management for the whole resources as well. And only then it will enable us to be the better future. And study of problems of using the available economic resources as effectively as possible so as to attain the maximum fulfillment of society's unlimited demand for goods and series. For example, I wish to buy an aeroplane, and also I wish to buy a pen. So this is not, so what is demand and what is need and want? Here I'm saying is that me wanting to buy a pen is my need. I have to buy a pen because I am a student, I am a teacher. But me wanting to buy an aeroplane is more or less my desire. It's not a demand. For those reasons, our demands are unlimited. Okay, for those reasons, an effective system has to be there. And for those reasons only, we have economics. And for example, if I would say that, back to the flashback, that is in 1990s, we were almost in a verge of bankruptcy. For those reasons, new economic policies, new reformations has to be brought up. That is liberalization economic. These, set up by our then Prime Minister, who is that Manmohan Singh, and all these globalizations, all these privatizations, these policies came into being, and only after that certain changes were made into it. So, and here it's written that study of how individuals and societies make decisions about way to use scarce resources to fulfill wants and needs. We as humans, our needs are unnumbered. We cannot, for example, we have a genie. We got a genie and a magic lamp, and suppose we get to, decide what we want. Our needs are never gonna end. We are, just keep on wanting for more things. So our needs are unlimited, but the resources are very limited. For example, if I am a producer of making pens, I can only make, suppose my factory or my laborers, that can only sustain, for example, 1 lakh or 2 lakh of pens per day or per month, whatever the limited capacity is. And just because all these people want more pen, it will be difficult for me to double up my productions. So the resources are very much limited, even if that's natural or human made, that is man made. The resources are very limited, but our needs are unlimited, just keep on increasing so much. And yes, the study of economics for pertinent to your civil services, we are going to dealing with lots of macroeconomic concepts and microeconomics. Just know about the concepts and details, but in-depth analysis more about the macroeconomics. And yes, so always for economics. For example, our nation was formed in 1947. We, as an independent India, began in 1947. So these people who were formulating our constitution and everything, they have to have an idea of what is our economy going to be like. That is, during those period, India was totally at ruins. We are highly, drained out by these Britishers, and we had lots of economic and social problems to add on to it. That is, we were highly illiterate, we were unskilled laborers, and a poverty line was very much under below. So, for those reasons, they have to decide on the basis of what they're going to do. And it's not just that. For example, I want to be a businessman, or I want to be something. So I have to decide what should I produce and how much is I produce. For example, the same example, okay? Example is that, yeah, thank you so much, Kapil. Thank you so much, Kapil. For example, I am a producer of pen. So suppose I want to set up a business, I want to set up a new business venture, that is to create a pen. I have to decide what is that to produce. Okay, so I decided that okay, I'll be producing pen. And the next is how much to produce. For example, if I need to make 2 lakhs of pen, my investment also has to be heavy. That is, all the factories, all these laborers, and all this infrastructural development also have to be larger. My inflow has to be good, only then my outflow also will be good. And then how to produce, that is, for example, in the western countries, you might have noticed in the videos in national geographies, is that mostly all the productions are done through mechanisms. That is, laborers quantity will be minimized and more of machine made goods will be available, though they are trying to reduce their expenditure. But for that reasons only, we have to, for example, we are under developing or developing nations, and we don't have the first investment, we don't have so much of money at first hand to invest for machinery. So we'll do something, we'll be supplying all these cheap laborers. So how to produce, that is how to produce through man-made or through machine. So certain aspects also have to be decided. So see, like I said, what to produce, how much to produce, how to produce it. All these questions are about and related to money. That is, for example, I want to create a pen, I need to have an investment amount and how much to produce. Even then I have to see how much of capital investments I could put into, and how to produce. That is, could I invest in heavy, expensive machines, or I could invest only in cheap laborers at first, and then if my factory or if my business blooms, I could, just remove few laborers and invest in the manufacturing machines also. And then for whom to produce. For example, I want to create pen. Suppose I am creating pen in a nation where most of the people are illiterate. So what is the point? I have to see what the people want. Only if the people are, sort of like sufficing to our products, only then it will be of purposes. For example, I am, staying in a place where river water, or the water system is very good, and people are getting all these government pipelines and the water systems, and everything is very good, they are well hydrated, they have all the water supplies. And I am going to start with a business of water bottles, or not just a water bottle, drinking waters. And what is the chance of me to have a good business, since all these people, they're getting all these good waters from the government and from private sector. Suppose these people have their wells dug out. So what is the point of me making all these drinking waters in my locality? So first we have to identify the audience. Who are we making it for? And even if we are making it for them, is it feasible for example, same example, I'm living in a place where water is very much abundant. People are getting lots of water. And if I create lots of drinking water, okay, I realize these people have, my locality have lots of water. Suppose a person in Rajasthan, or a village, a particular village in Rajasthan, they don't have much water. So if I could, transport my water to there, then my business will bloom. For that reason, we have to look into transportation facilities and other, tertiary sector facilities also. And that is for whom to produce. What is your audience? And if I, transport all these water to these drinking water to these Rajasthan people, will that, cover up the cost or the expenditure that has to be incurred for creating one single bottle of drinking water? So everything has to be related. Everything has to be thought and thorough through with related to money and economics. And who gets to make the decisions? It's not just okay, I have lots of money, I make this decisions, I'm going to do that. No, what is going to happen? I'm going to be a loser tomorrow. I'm going to lose all the money. That shouldn't be. For it's not just about the business, for the government also. The government is something who are very much responsible towards the people. So whatever decisions that they have to do, they have to keep every aspects in line. So those purposes, economics as a concept has to be thoroughly made, has to thoroughly think through, and only then you have to imply into it. Okay. And what are the resources? We have lots of resources, not just about the raw materials that we have, even the the man-made materials and the services that we get. For example, I'm taking this online class through it. So this is a resource. You're getting resource in the sense that whatever that you're getting for benefiting you. Resource is not just about something that you could see. Resource could be anything and everything which fulfills your desires, which fulfills your wants and needs. So I'm taking this class and you had a series of doubts in economics. So me taking your class will be your resources for economics. All right. And the fundamental problem is scarcity. Suppose it was just 10, 20 years before, 10, 20 years back, we didn't have internet connections. And also economically, India was not very good, not very well off. That is 20 years before or just 30 years before. And the problem is that suppose you are a civil service aspirant, you have lots of passion to be a civil service aspirant and a civil service officer, but you don't have the money to join all these, top ended or these high branded coaching institutes. So what will you do? Since because it's scarce in the sense that it is not accessible to you. What is the problem? Then you wouldn't have the resource and you wouldn't be a civil service aspirant and then a civil service officer. And yes, scarcity is a basic and central economic problem confronting every society. And only because we have scarcity, we have the study or a system called economics here. And if it is scarce, for example, the same example I'm just repeating again for the sake of other students who came and joined here. That is same example I'm just repeating. Okay, that is air is very much free. It's very much abundant over here, and nobody is gonna bottle all these oxygen into one bottle. So it's everywhere. It's free. We cannot see it's just free. It's everywhere. And since air is free and it's always there, you are not gonna regulate it. But since these resources are very much scarce, for example, water, it's scarce, and the other resources, for example, milk or egg, or I'm not just talking about all these, pen is scarce, and there has to be lots of inputs given into it, and only then we'll have it. For those reasons, only it is scarce. And the problems of scarcity is because of limited resources and our wants are unlimited. The resources are very limited, but our desires are, unlimited. And the needs and wants, I already discussed. I'll just keep on saying it. Same thing. That is, for example, I need to eat food because I'm hungry. But me wanting to eat biryani or me wanting to eat hakka noodles is my want. It's my desire. Okay, the basic concept or the basic essential part is need, and want is the desire, the next one, the next step above it. The same example, for example, I want to have a shelter, I want to sleep somewhere, and that is my basic need. But me wanting to go America as a tourist is a want. And relation between economics and scarcity is that the same thing. That is, the resources has to be allocated. For example, our government, our nation is developing, it's evolving, it's still in an infant form, and we cannot say that everyone are equally rich or equally prosperous. For example, here what we find is that the poor people are very poor and we also have people who are very rich. So there is sort of like disparity among these people. So we need to bring about, for example, if we say that the average income of these people will be very good. Why? Because there are very high rich people and very low income people also. So for those reasons, the government has to allocate. What is that? The government bring about all these policies with subsidies, and with that is Poor people, they don't have money. What is the government they're going to do? They're going to bring about lots of policies, all these schemes for these poor people, and lots of problems for these people. And for the rich people, what they're going to do, since they are very rich, only the rich people who are above a certain point will be taxed. That is all this income tax and all. So in those ways, government tried to balance it, but still we are not balanced. But at least they are trying to lots of balance us. And yes, the next important basic concepts of economics is trade-off. That is, why are you watching this video? You're watching this video because you made a decision to watch it. Everything that you do in a day about is related to trade-off, and you are doing economics throughout your day. For example, you could just sleep right now, or you could just eat food instead of watching this video, or you could just watch some of the video. But you purposefully, deliberately made a decisions to watch this. So that is trade-off. That is, you cannot have both together. You cannot be in America and India both at the same time, even if you have money, and you can't eat food and take shower at the same time. So there has to be certain limitations to it. So your choice, depending upon that, is known as trade-off. And the opportunity cost is the next best alternative. For example, why do I feel, suppose I need a book, I need this notepad. So why did I choose this? Because when I compare this notepad with this notepad, I felt that this one was much better. For everything and anything, there has to be some sort of comparison. Only, like for example, people say that only we have sadness in our life, we could appreciate happiness in our life. So similarly, everything has to be compared. Only then I feel that this book is much better than this one. That is the next best choice of this one. Only then I will buy this. For example, these two notepads are 10 rupees. Same price, same everything. But when I look into it, the pages are very much less. But here I could see lots of pages in here. So okay, fine. I made decisions. I want a much better book for 10 rupees. So this is the opportunity cost, or what is that the next best choice that you are deciding for yourself. And this is a definition for opportunity cost, refers to the foregone value of the next best alternative. It is the value of what is given up when one makes a choice. That is, for example, I just have 10 rupees. I don't have 20 rupees so that I could buy both the books. I just have 10 rupees. So what do? I gave up this decision of buying this book. I left it. I am only buying this book. So this is the opportunity cost. This, I sacrificed this book so that I could buy this. So I gave up on that. So that is how opportunity cost came up. And yes, same thing. The basic decision problem is that conception, production, distribution, growth over time. That is, for example, conception is not just about for example, the products that we buy, even the services that we get, the electricity that we get, and all the other services, intangible and tangible services that we get, and everything could be utilized. But how do we utilize it? We have to give something up so that we could utilize it. How are you watching this video? Only after paying for the internet, only after buying a mobile phone or a laptop or a computer, whatever that you using, and only after that, only you are getting it. So conception is also about determining what is that you need and what is that you want. And production is probably generally concern of producers. Consumers are consumer oriented, but productions are producer oriented. For example, I have 10 lakh rupees and I feel that I want to start a business. So I have to decide, okay, what I have to do, and the same questions I have to analyze in my mind. That is, what to produce, how to produce, when to and whom to produce, and in what ways I have to produce. So all these questions I have to analyze, I have to study, I have to properly plan through. So production is basically for the producers, and yes, distribution also comes around in production. Suppose the same example, I am making manufacturing this pen, and suppose every single person in my country are illiterate. So when they are illiterate, what's the point of them having this pen? And they cannot write, they cannot read. So what's the point of me creating a pen? So distribution is about, okay, I realize that my people, my audience are in different nation, are in different place allocated. So my distribution or transportation also has to be understood. And growth over time, that is society, that is they have to deal with it, the choice, conception, all the decisions they have to think about, and only then they grow over time. So the next classification, I think you must have studied this concept, is in your lower sessions, I think in your 7th standard class of economics, that is always, it's not just about the Indian economy, mostly the economies are segregated on three bases: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary is mostly about producing raw materials. For example, me producing agriculture farm produce, me milking cow's milk, and me doing all these production. For example, I am digging out coal from the mines. So this is a primary purpose. Me directly producing all these raw materials, all these natural resources. Producing natural resources, what primary is. Secondary is converting or processing these natural resources to something else. For example, I got the milk from a farmer, and what do? I create, butter out of it, or I make cheese from it, or curd. So that is secondary sector. Converting or processing, completely transforming the raw material to a different form is secondary. And tertiary is something which facilitates these two. That is, tertiary facilitates the smoothing of primary and secondary. For example, I am a farmer and I produce lots of potatoes. So what is me going to do about potatoes? I have to give up in the market, or I have to go find an agent for that. For that, I need transportation facilities. I need committees. I need organizations. I need market for that. That is tertiary sector. Anything and everything related to the services. That is, whatever is facilitating both the primary and secondary sector is called to be as tertiary. And even for the secondary sector, you create a cake, you just bake with all these raw materials and you process it and convert into a different form. And what are you going to do about it? And suppose your client or your customer has a problem, and there will be a customer service person who will be clarifying all these doubts. So such sectors are called as tertiary sector. And in fact, if you just ask me, there are just two sectors, and a third sector is to facilitate smooth functioning of primary and secondary sectors. So yes, this is just the basic understanding. Primary is all about producing the natural raw resources, and secondary is converting of those natural resources to something else. That is processing it. And tertiary is facilitating the first two. That is the primary and secondary sector, facilitating this so that it will be smoothing. And yes, banking, insurance, transportation, all these services comes under the tertiary sector. And the next one is scope of economics. That is, what are the important aspects of the components of the what the economics as subject is all about. And we have already gone through all these: consumption, distribution, production, public finance, and exchange. And consumption refers to the use of wealth for the satisfaction of wants and desire. And consumption is more or less likely kind of like allocation of resources. For example, the union government, they got, or their revenue was 100 crore rupees. And if they have 100 crore rupees, what are they going to do? They're going to invest that first into all these sectors where the economy or the money will be very low. So they're going to come up all these schemes, policies, and loan waivers. And if they feel that some sectors, for example, in health departments, it's kind of like lacking behind, or the health sector is not very good, or the suppose my education or the literacy level of India is not very good, so you're going to invest that money. So the allocation of money, this is with respect to the government, okay, I'm talking. So the allocations of money on the basis of the needs and the wants is consumption, and distribution is how to get that. For example, we have PDS, public distribution systems, ration shops, and ASHA workers, and all these people who are facilitating all these. Suppose, we have ration shops providing us with all these, subsidized materials and food producers. And how are you going to get that? We need to have ration shop nearby our place, which is accessible. So distribution as a concept is important. And yes, production. For example, most of our government sectors are under loss. And for example, in Kerala, our best services are highly incurring losses, and that is the KSRTC. But still, they are going with the services. Why? Because it's public services, the public department. For those reasons, so they have to look into everything. Will they sustain the loss? Will they sustain if the revenue is not very good? So everything has to look into it. And public finance, that is the expenditure. So the government itself, they don't have money. How do they invest it? With the money collected from these people, that is through these taxes, GSTs, income taxes, and all these businesses that they're into. For example, these public sectors, and the public development programs, they are into it. And the exchange, that is I have 10 rupees, and with the exchange of 10 rupees only, I'll get a product or a service worth valuing of that. So government has to look that what is that we are exchanging for getting this. And yes, these are the basic definitions of it. And yes, now is the factors of production. That is, like I said, this pen to be created. I cannot just have lots of money. For example, I just have 10 lakh rupees to investing a business. That wouldn't do. I need a land for it. I need an infrastructure for it. I need people who are willing to work for it. I need machinery who is willing to work for it. And for those reasons only, they are the factors of productions. All these components come together. Only then I could produce and then, fulfill my desire of being a businessman. For that, yes, land, labor, capital, and organization. So, yes, land includes gift of nature or natural sources, and capital includes it's not just about the money capital, even the infrastructure or even the machinery or the tools or everything that you're investing in, the high cost amount that you're investing for this. And labor includes people with different skills and abilities, so that you cannot keep someone who have no knowledge of creating a pen as your labor. So there has to be a certain skill associated with person. Only then they can be a labor in your place. And then yes, this entrepreneur, that is, you have to have your own skill. Here it's written organization. Organization is all about the person who's behind it, the person who's managing it, and the person who is contributes his knowledge, contributes his wisdom in a way that all these factors contribute in efficient manner, and the revenue will be good, and the production will be very good. And the type of economic system that we have over here is market, command, and mixed. That is with respect to, for example, when in 1947, when our leaders, they decided, okay, India is going to be independent. They have to decide what type of nation that we want. Is it socialist? Is it capital or capitalistic, or is it mixed? For example, in Russia, USSR, it was socialist, and America, it is highly capitalist. And socialist is when the government provides. Okay, yes. So socialist is when, for example, your government is providing everything. That is even the education or the infrastructure or the services or the insurance or the banking. I'm so sorry. That is, the government is responsible for everything. That is, whatever that a single person wants, food, clothing, shelter, all these facilities will be provided by the government. But our India was not in a position to do that. That is, our India was economically not very well off, and our leaders they fear that this will in a way deprive all these people of their rights, and we cannot even have highly capitalistic people. What's the problem in capitalistic? That is, business people will come front, and when business people come front, these laborers will be like bonded laborers. For example, I am starting a huge steel plant. I'm investing 1,000 crore rupees into it, and I'm gonna have lots of laborers under me. And how do I, generate profit from that? I'm gonna pay them less. I'm gonna, cut short all these aspects which I feel that I could, reduce. For those reasons, what happened? Suppose a person was getting 100 rupees per day, and I, as a producer, I felt that I need to get more profit, so I'll cut my labor's profit salary, and it will be 80 rupees per day. So what happens? He will ask his children to drop out in school and then come and join the factory. For that day, these three people could earn 80 rupees. So it's more profit for me, but it's more less for them. So those people, because of those problems, disparity will start to occur. Disparity is rich will be more richer and poor will be more poor. That is, his children, when they are dropping out of school, their chance of having a better life will be totally destroyed. For those reasons only, capitalist economy was not decided to here in India. And yes, we have a mixed system of economy that in both the good aspects of both the government, both the systems will be incorporated. And I think we'll be discussing more about such concepts in tomorrow's class. Today's class was very short. The reason is that I didn't want it to, just fill your head or scare you off with all the different concepts of economics. Just the basic concepts was discussed here. And on January 1st onwards, we'll be discussing all the prominent aspects of economics. And I really hope that today's class was more than conveyed all the important definitions to you all. And if there's any doubt, you could ask me because I'm about to end the session. And yes, today's class was very short. The reason is that so hardly half an hour we had a class. So if there's anything else that you want to ask me, that's it, because uh, I'll be starting on with your main concepts from first onwards, 1st of January, and tomorrow there won't be any class, any live sessions. So I just want to say Happy New Year. Let prosperity, let all these good wisdoms, let all these good times come to you all. And I really wish the new year is going to be the best year of your life. 2020 may be your best year. So thank you so much. Thank you all for joining here. And